taken on more people to deal with the issue and was also using spam-fighting technology to remove certain types of message automatically.
The Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, has died in the US state of Florida. He was 85. Edgar Mitchell was part of a three-man crew on the space mission in 1971. He and his fellow astronaut Alan Shepard spent more than 9 hours on the moon collecting rocks and taking measurements. BBC News.
Hello, the time is 6:06 GMT. Welcome to Weekend from the BBC World Service. My name's Paul Henley. Coming up later in the programme, we hear from a US attorney who's been fighting for over a decade for the publication of photos showing abuse of prisoners by the American military. Even though it's come late, he told us why the release of these pictures was so important.
Visual documentation of governmental misconduct is uniquely powerful. It can provoke social change. It can cause a national conversation. And I think the Pentagon fears exactly that power of these photos to renew the push for transparency and accountability into the post 9/11 abuses of the U.S. government.
That's coming up. And in half an hour's time, I'll be joined by my two guests on the programme, Alex von Tunzelmann, British author and historian, and Tom Rivers, who's a correspondent for ABC News Radio, based here in London. First, there's been an earthquake in Taiwan, the island nation off the east coast of China. The magnitude 6.4 quake struck close to the city of Tainan in the south of the country. Search teams are trying to reach people who've been trapped in buildings that have collapsed there. The quake hit in the middle of the night when most people were asleep, and there have been several aftershocks. An English teacher, Kate Lyo Schaffner, who lives 20 minutes drive away from Tainan, said it was frightening.
I was lying in bed with my husband and my youngest daughter, who's 4, and it was quite terrifying. The whole building was shaking. It was quite loud, and we can hear things falling off the wall.
Elise Hu is East Asia news correspondent for NPR, an American broadcaster. She was at home in the capital, Taipei, about 300 kilometers away from Tainan, when the earthquake struck.
I was actually awakened by my 6-month-old infant daughter, who doesn't usually wake up around 4 in the morning. But the earthquake shook just before 4 in the morning local time. The baby started talking or making sounds. And so I woke up, fed her, and went back to sleep. It was a few minutes later when my U.S. editors actually called to ask me if I was all right when I learned that there was an earthquake. So the earthquake could be felt here in Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan, which is 3 hours north of the epicenter. But it wasn't strong enough to actually wake me.
What have you found out since?
Well, Taiwanese authorities have now mobilized the National Army down to help with rescue efforts. There's 5 people dead. More than 30 people are actually believed to be trapped inside